Hi folks, my name is Chuck and this is Hiking with Roulette Run. And today we are going to start the second leg of my section hike of the Appalachian Trail. And I'm planning to get about 13 miles in today if I can. However, I already know that it's going to be another butt whooper. So far today the sun is out and or at least playing to be out. So let's get it. Look at the ferns. Okay, so I'm to a point here where I'm going to do some good downhill for a while. Much appreciated downhill for a while until I have to go back up the other way on the other side. But oh well. It's a nice break. The sky's looking kind of overcast. Not thunderstorm kind of overcast, just cloudy. Sometimes it gets thin and the sun tries to peek through, but I haven't seen a lot of that yet. Okay, well, that little descent did not last long enough. I'm currently hiking up a hill here. It's nice and steep enough. Take a moment's standing break. Hopefully, that's the crest of this hill. Then I get to go downhill again for a while. Funny thing about these hills, they end when they end. Not when you're ready for them to end. This is definitely not the flatlands of Indiana. Okay, we reached the peak of this. Now we're going downhill for a bit. Alright, so this is very much what is affectionately known as the Green Tunnel. So far, this downhill has been pretty cruisy. And what do I mean by that? Well, some of it is so steep. Some of these downhills are so steep that you got to really be careful with your footing and worry that your foot may slip out from underneath you and you kind of end up doing the splits. And that would not be very fun with a full pack on. Oh, look. They knew I was coming and strew more blossoms on the trail for me.
So you're in a hurry? Well, you better calm down. We're all friends around you, just join the fun. 'Cause if you're in a hurry, you're missing the point. Should enjoy the fruits of life instead of chasing coins. Because it's a beautiful day. Isn't it so come on, let's play. Forget the rush you're in and find a good spot. Sit down and join us as we sing a good song. Keep back, relax and just follow along. Oh, we got plenty of time. Taking it easy won't cost you a dime. Throw another log onto the fire.
My downhill has come to an end. And I got about, 250 foot of climb. with a bunch of ups and downs in between. Okay, let's get it. It's my last climb for a big climb for a while. And just know that I'm going to take a pack off, sit down break up here top for a little bit. Okay, so you know there's many places on this trail. You do not want to be drunk and fall off the trail, because it's a long downhill roll, and I think it would hurt. Not to mention the climb you have to do to come back up. How beautiful is that? You know, I'm a believer in Christ and all that, but don't leave your crap on the trail for somebody to come pick up. Definitely more of the green tunnel. The sun is shining, but you would never know it. Roulette run.
I like that.
Okay, so I have just spent a nice, enjoyable conversation here with the Southern Cookie lady, and had a cookie, had some ice water and a water refill, and it was much appreciated. And I am heading back on the trail for another 3 miles or so up here to the shelter. I'll talk to you on the way. So I am down here at the bottom of this mountain, and this is what's known as the 5 mile climb. It's 5 miles and about somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 foot elevation gain. I'd really like to get this whole 5 miles knocked out today, but it's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a shelter right here. So that's my goal, is to get up here to this shelter, spend the night, and then go up and over the top tomorrow morning. We'll see how it goes. So this is just pre-cooked bacon and a tortilla. Lots of fat. Good for calories. Energy to burn. Alright, so a couple things before I get headed back up this mountain again. I took this little lunch break at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But out here on the trail, what is most important for everybody is calories. In general, you'll find that backpackers, their meal choice is probably the worst diet of anybody you can think of. However, the goal is not so much nutrition as it is calories to burn, because you're out here working hard. Let's see, yesterday I hiked 12 hours, and so for 12 hours I was exercising. Most of the day yesterday I was huffing and puffing like I've been running a race, going up these mountains. And I'm getting ready to do some more huffing and puffing here in just a minute, going up this next 250 foot or whatever, however far it is up above here. I have to look at that, but it's probably more like 500 foot if you want to know the truth. Okay, so while I was here, I did a little body maintenance. I don't normally have a chafing problem, but for the last 30 hours or so, I've been wet ever since it started raining on me yesterday. My clothes have been wet. I've been wet. My rag on the front of my pack over there, even though it is 4 in the afternoon, it is still wet, and it hasn't rained today. My Gophi thermometer tells me that it was in the 75 degree range earlier, but it was 99.2% humidity, And so this is basically like a rainforest here. The humidity is just atrocious. And that also helps keep me wet. It's not like out in the desert Southwest where you sweat, but that you get a lot of evaporative cooling coming from that sweat because the air is so dry that it helps to evaporate all that off of you, and as it's evaporating, it's cooling your body. Not so much around here. I also did some repair work on my left foot here. And I was getting a hot spot right behind the ball of my left foot there, and so I went and got out of my pack Leukotape, and by far Leukotape is the best thing I've ever come across as helping to prevent or treat blisters, pre-blisters on your feet. That stuff sticks and it stays stuck. And it's spelled Leuko, Leukotape. And I get a 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so let me get this pack back on. Oh, another thing I did, another thing that I endorse personally, even though nothing is being sponsored by anybody on this channel, is this Sawyer picaridin insect repellent. It works pretty well. Not so much for those kamikaze drone gnats that try to fly in your eyes. I have found that my glasses do help with those somewhat. But yesterday I was hiking with no glasses on, and they were definitely trying to get in my eyes. Okay, so time to go. So I ran across this congregation. I wonder what all that's about. All right, folks, so I spent the night here at Little Laurel Shelter, and so far I've come a little over 20 miles. A lot of uphill. However, I'm going to get a break today. I'm currently getting ready to work on breakfast here, and it's going to be biscuits and gravy. So, last night when I rolled in, I'll tell you, the closer I get to the end of the day, the less video I want to shoot. I'm more concentrated on getting here. Of course, I am in the middle of this 5-mile climb, and so it was, quite the chore at the end of the day to get up here. And this morning, so I've got still 2 miles of climb ahead of me, heading out this direction. And I've got 2 miles of climb ahead of me, and then once I get up over that, it's going to level out, and I should make good miles beyond there. Down the way behind me here is where the water is, and it is a flowing artesian well, I guess you want to call it, or spring, and it is the best water I've had. Next to the cookie lady down there, it is the best water I've had out here on the AT so far. Okay, so breakfast and packing up is the order for the time being. So Mountain House biscuits and gravy this morning. As I get the water to boil in here. Okay, so let's talk camp chores for a minute. When you come rolling into camp, you got a lot of things to get done. First and foremost, you got to get a tent set up, or whatever you're doing inside of a shelter. I did not sleep in the shelter. There was already somebody sleeping in there. He actually had his tent set up inside the shelter. And there was another fellow that was camped out in front of the shelter. And I chose to camp out here at this tent site, and made this my home for the night. Also, you've got to think about cooking. So I cooked my meal last night, and then I also have to take and put my food into a bear box, which is about 100 yards down the road here, or down the trail here. It's not a road. And put it in there for the night. Bears are a thing out here. I have not seen a bear. I have seen multiple signs of bears. In other words, yes, bears do that in the woods. Yes, they do. And also you have to fill up with water. Usually, I like to have about 3 liters of water to camp with, and that allows me to cook and have plenty to drink. And also, if I want to at least kind of try to wipe off a little bit some of the road grime, I can do that. And then what else? You gotta blow up your air mattress. In my case, you blow up a pillow. And so there's all kinds of things to get done before bed when you roll into camp. Now, I rolled in here about an hour or so before dark, and by the time I was eating my dinner, I was eating in the dark. But that being said, I got a pretty good night's sleep, and so here we are. So do me a favor, if you like what you're seeing down here at the bottom, hit like and subscribe, and stay tuned. There's always more to come, and thanks for watching.